Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to talk about a topic a little off from nutrition, but still dealing with the body, mind, spirit, holistic connection. And this one is to do with spirit and to do with things that we may be struggling with and kind of suggestions on how to deal with them. And probably one that you won't expect. So today's topic is going to be about if there is somebody or some buddies, people that you're not getting along with or arguing with or not speaking to or on bad terms with, whatever the reason. I'm going to give you something interesting that you can try that may be difficult for some, and some might have no issues with it. And it's something that I actually have done and continue to do. Depending on the situation, I find less and less I have to do it, which is great. But I'm going to give you a little bit of a story time of something that happened, how I dealt with it, and then we'll get tied back into tips for you on how to deal with these situations. So a few years back, I was working at a company and I was working very closely with one particular female. And we got along okay. And she was one of these people that I liked as a person, but I didn't like working with her, if that makes any sense at all. So I found, it would be busy and maybe she wasn't picking up slack and I was doing more of the work and stuff and I was getting frustrated. So there was a particular day, it was really, really busy and we were both sort of getting on each other's nerves because we were both stressed to the max and all these crazy things were happening. And I don't even remember kind of how it happened, but we both sort of had an argument about something. And then I was continuing to do my work and I was frustrated. And she sort of came out of nowhere and threw a bunch of papers at me. It didn't hurt me because it was paper, but still, like, you don't throw things at people when you're working with them. So it was really an odd situation and I didn't know what to do. And normally I would react to something like that, probably throwing something back or, going like, what the hell are you doing? But I didn't. I just kind of took a deep breath and I realized that my reaction was going to, propel the situation in the direction it was going to go. My reaction was reliant on where this was going to go. And I was already having a bad day and I was already stressed out and I wasn't even comfortable with the situation. I like this person, so I don't enjoy this, conflict that we're having. And I don't do great with conflict either. So I decided I was going to take a deep breath, take a step back and not react. And I didn't. And I continued on working throughout my day. The other person didn't share the same philosophy. So, she was making comments here and there to me, kind of, saying things that weren't very nice. I continued to take a deep breath and ignore and ignore and ignore. Because again, I thought, well, this is just going to propel a situation that I'm already not comfortable with. Now, understand, at the time in my life, that was a very difficult thing for me to do. And I'm very proud of myself with the way I handled that situation. But to take it one step further, so the day ends and I'm very glad to go home because it's been a rough day and it's weighing on my mind. I think it happened on a Friday and it was just weighing on my mind. You know how these things just drag us down, like these emotional burdens drag us down. It was weighing on my mind and I was like, I don't want to have a bad weekend. Like, I'm home for, 2.5 days or whatever it is. I want to enjoy my weekend. I don't want to carry this burden with me. And when I get upset or, anything like this, these sort of things happen, I tend to manifest these things in my stomach area. So I'll get like stomach aches or, run to the bathroom or, that's kind of how my body manifests things that I'm uncomfortable with. So I decided I didn't want to have that type of weekend. So I didn't know how I was going to make it better. I didn't know. And I contemplated texting her and saying, like, can we talk about this? But she was just so far gone. Like, she just was going to hate me. So I decided I didn't want to deal with this weekend. So what I did is I, had a bit of a little cry when I got home because it was upsetting. But I thought, that's it. I'm not giving this any more energy, any more bad energy. So what I did is that night I went to bed. I did a meditation, which I highly recommend meditation, which is just like taking some time, clearing your thoughts and not really thinking about anything and being in stillness and being in the moment. And I did that, which I regularly do. But what I did decide to do was that night, I I said like a special prayer thing for her, and I decided I was going to send her love and light. And I imagined in my head that her and I were surrounded in a white light, and that I was hugging her, and that she was hugging me back. She wasn't resisting, she was hugging me back, and I was just sending her so much love and, and light. So I was sending her like all this positive vibes. I could feel my heart swelling. I thought of like a time where my heart swelled with love, or like somebody I love, and I felt that emotion, like that my chest was going to burst with love. And I hugged her and I embraced her and I wished her all the best. And I said, I hope that you're having a great weekend. And of course, like, she doesn't know I'm doing this, right? And I never told her that I did this. And the thing is, you don't even have to tell anybody that you're doing this. So I never told her that this happened. So anyway, long story short, I go back and I had a great weekend. So I felt so at peace with myself and so at ease. I slept like a baby that night, and I didn't really give it another thought that weekend. I thought, my job is done here. I feel better. And somehow I believed that she felt better because of what I did. So I really believed that when I was embracing her, that it was really there and really in the moment. And this is someone like we don't embrace, we don't do that, but it's the imagery of the unconditional love thing, wrapping them up in it. So I went to work on the Monday, and I was a little bit nervous because I thought, God, I hope this is not going to happen again. And pleasantly, like, she said good morning to me, and I said good morning back, and we kind of like picked up like it didn't happen. Now, we did discuss it later, and we both said to each other, we apologized, and we both said like we were having a bad day and it was really stressful and it was, blah, 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 blah. Am I saying that, because I did this exercise that she changed her mind? Possibly. Who knows? Possibly, right? Maybe she just also went home and, thought like, this is stupid and I don't want to, I have to work with this person. So I'm not saying that my exercise changed her and that I have like special powers or anything. What I am saying is that regardless of what her reaction was going to be to me, I felt better that I did that. I felt better that I didn't go, and that the old me would have let that fester and would have like festered inside, and I wouldn't be feeling well, and I'd be bitter and I'd be angry and I'd be a basket of nerves, and that just would have escalated. We just would have gotten in an all out shouting match. And so I'm proud of the way I reacted to that. And people at work that were closer friendly with me, like there was one or two people I was pretty good friends with at work, they both came up to me because they knew what had happened, because they had witnessed it. Everybody in the office had witnessed what had happened with her and I when things kind of went askew. So people came up to me and said, like, what happened? Like, you guys are, and I told just those two people, I said, I sent her love and light this weekend. And they looked at me like, one of them looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, I don't know what that means. So I explained, I just, instead of being angry, I just, sent her love and I wished her well. And, I didn't have a bad thought about her. And that person thought I was nuts, which is fine. And the other person thought, that is so interesting and I'm going to try that. And then they ended up coming back to me and saying that works like a charm because it happened to them. And it's really difficult to do. This is something that we, when somebody pisses us off or angers us, or when we're fighting with someone or not talking to someone even, we don't send them love. We just want to hate them, which is a horrible energy. It only gets us sick, and it doesn't make us feel any better, right? So if you do something like this, it doesn't have to be exactly what I'm saying, but your version of it. So if you're a religious person, you can pray for somebody that perhaps you're not getting along with at the moment or not speaking with. The whole point here is to change the energy of your connection to them. And it doesn't matter how they react to it. They may not, all of a sudden start talking to you again and be nice to you and treat you well. It doesn't matter. It's not about them. It's about you. It's about being the bigger energy, being the better person, because you will be. And it's not doing this to to show what a good person you are. It's doing it for yourself. It's doing it to keep your health, to keep your energy and vibration high, because we need to have good energy and vibration when we're dealing with other people. Because I tell you, if you are the better, gooder is not a word, better, more powerful, positive energy, then you will always, like it's science. You will always, if this energy is here and it's angry, you'll always overpower that energy, and in a good way. So if there's someone being negative, or someone, not being nice or critical or whatever, it is not easy, but it's very important to be the better person. And it also just makes you feel better. It makes you feel better. It changes the whole dynamic of the situation. And again, it doesn't matter what the other person thinks, and you don't ever have to tell that person that you did it. You don't ever. And you don't have to tell anyone what you did. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope it's like a different way of looking at how to deal with something like this. And I'm no expert on this, I guarantee you, but I'll tell you, once I started incorporating this, I'm at such peace with myself and with other people, for the most part. Like, there's always going to be situations that are really, really horrible. Like, some people have situations that are really, really horrible, but I still think that this is a beneficial exercise. And again, it's got nothing to do with that other person. This is for you. This is for you. And I do believe that energy, when we put our energy in a good place and a positive place, I do believe that this can have an effect on somebody that's not even in the room. There are studies after studies after studies that show Tibetan monks that will go in a group, in a small group or big group. They will go meditate somewhere, sending love and light to the universe, to the world, to the population nearby. And there's been studies that they'll be in a city and they'll do these meditations, and the crime rate of that city will go down substantially that evening. And people in the hospital, lives are like, people that are on their deathbeds, like, make amazing recoveries. So you can read about these studies, and I believe in this. I believe in the power of positive energy and the collective. We are a collective as a group of people. We don't need to know each other to be part of this collective energy that can make a huge difference. Like, all these little things make a big difference in the world, right? If we all have this positive collective energy. So it is challenging. I find it challenging, but I'm still working on it, and I am just here to tell you that it does work. And again, this is for you. So it's the best way to deal with it, and really, I believe the only way to deal with it. And the world could use more positivity. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm available on Facebook under Nutrilicious, and I'm on Instagram at lexi.velvet. Okay? Have a great day. Be well. Talk to you soon, and be nice to each other. Take care.